Your heart begins to race, each beat echoing through your whole body. The breath quickens and feels too shallow to satisfy your lungs. Grasping a clear thought is impossible. Chaos breaks out in your head. The worst possible outcomes flood your mind. A nightmare you can't seem to get out of. Suddenly, there is silence. You endured. It passed away for now. This cycle basically dominated my entire day. I regularly checked for my pulse because I wanted to prepare for the next attack. I might also did this because I worried that my heart would stop beating entirely, and that's also the reason I visited basically every doctor and every therapist in my area, but all they told me is that I'm just too aware of my body. They couldn't help me, so I had to help myself. And now I basically realized that it all boils down to the fact that I couldn't give up control. As you can see, anxiety is a downward spiral, and as insecurity and uncertainty increase in you, the need for control and security grows. And if you can't get it, anxiety will completely possess you. If you're full of anxiety, you are most likely living in the future and not in the present moment, because you're trying to foresee or trying to predict some state in the future. So trying to prevent another attack or even being too focused on a goal in the future you want to reach are prime examples for causes of anxiety. You have to accept that there is a randomness factor in your life, and everything in your life will turn out exactly how it needs to be. You might not like it, but you need to face this particular situation you're in. That's also why the one and only solution I've found is to surrender into your suffering. You have to suffer in one way or another. That's what the human experience is all about, but you can choose how to suffer. One, by being a victim and complaining about your circumstances and basically staying into the downward spiral of anxiety. Two, by solving your problems and failing until you get it right eventually. Only one way will lead you to inner peace and insight. And I realized that by hitting absolute rock bottom on the verge of getting into psychiatry. The more you resist, the worse you'll feel. You have to stare into the abyss and basically face your fear. That's what I'm trying to tell you here. I basically had to accept that my heart would stop beating one day and that I'm playing a game without seeing the clock. I had to accept that my future is uncertain and that no one can give me a blueprint on how to live a successful life. You have to feel lost for a while to be found eventually. The more comfortable I feel with the idea of dying, the more immortal I feel. And by giving up that control over my life, my breath got fuller again. I felt like I would walk on clouds and all the fog in my brain basically disappeared.
Okay, you did it, but I can't. You don't know my story. It's way worse than that.
It's true. I don't know your story, but it doesn't change a single thing. Is this story or comparison serving you in any way right now? If you want to stay there, fine. But you will hit rock bottom as well, and then you will face these two choices again. As long as you don't decide to change something and detach yourself from the result, this nightmare will repeat itself like a broken tape. No decision is a decision as well. All of this is pretty difficult to grasp in its entirety, and to be honest, I haven't internalized it completely as well, but I have to thank one single habit for all those insights. Meditation. I recommend it to every single one of my friends, non-stop basically, because nothing changed my life as drastically as meditation. Back then I started with 5-minute long guided meditations on YouTube, and I got distracted after 10 seconds of trying to quiet my mind, and that's exactly how it is supposed to be. The point of meditation is to get distracted, so you can basically learn how to deal with distraction, how to deal with getting distracted, and how to come back to the present moment. And what can I say? I stuck with it for the last 4 years, and I had experiences I can't even put into words. Now I'm staying in my meditations for 30 to 60 minutes on average. And I already went through a lot of courses in that time, and to be honest, I never felt more peace in my entire life because of exactly that. I'm convinced that if everyone would meditate on this world, we would be far better off. It's so crazy what an impact this simple habit could have. If you take one thing away from this video, please start to meditate. So to sum all of this up, anxiety and fear are the best teachers I could have ever imagined. I didn't realize it when I was at my lowest point, but now I do. I use them as a compass now instead of running away from them or trying to hide. Making my trust fall into the abyss without caring if someone would catch me was the best decision ever. Because the universe will catch you. You will find heaven at the deepest point of hell. So if you are in hell right now, please just keep walking. One last thing to say. I love you, anxiety, and I'm excited for our next rendezvous. I kiss your heart.